I like global because you have a lot of more freedom, I guess, for moving around and doing a lot more research outside of class, rather than sitting in class all day and doing only work in class.
I think being surrounded by so much academic diversity is very beneficial because everyone has their own ideas and experiences to bring. We learn about topics from completely different perspectives than just our own, and we really thrive in that environment.
In the past, I've taken legacy classes like marketing, cooking, and AP Human Geography.
So I did cross country in the fall, and then I'm also doing soccer right now, girls soccer, and then I do Best Buddies as well.
In school, I am on the dance team, and I am also in National Honor Society, Tri-M, and Interact Club.
I'm also part of my school's Model UN team. I'm the captain of that, and then I'm part of language clubs that I'm taking.
For one of my inquiries, I researched the history of organized crime, and so I want to be in law enforcement when I'm older, so it really tied in very well the history of organized crime, how it started back with the mafia.
My last inquiry was on World War I and how planes came into, society. The reason why they came in is because they were mostly used for commercial use and then into the war, which at first they were only used for reconnaissance, but later on I learned more about that and how they were actually used for fighting and how they evolved so fast.
So one of my favorite inquiries that I've completed was when I did second semester of sophomore year, and so I researched the music and composers of the 20s and 30s and how their music was influenced by world events and culture. And so I'm interested in that kind of music, but then through my project I wanted to also earn some social studies credit, and so I did that by researching the history and how it influenced the music.
Guided inquiry meetings are for new students to global, and they meet once a week, so I meet on Mondays during second block, and we just there's a teacher that leads it, and they go through what's needed to be done or what's kind of due, and they help you through that, and if you have any questions you can ask them about it.
Inquiries are the best part of global because you can research anything that you want to, and I have been able to really look into things that interest me that I wouldn't have been able to look into otherwise.
I went to GE Healthcare just as like a kind of tour and kind of learned a little bit about what they did, as well as I went to Promega Health Corporation. We did a little science lab, kind of toured it, learned about the business side of it as well as the science side of it.
I got to talk to a prosecutor who prosecuted a lot of organized crime and gangs, motorcycle gangs.
Global's also allowed me to teach 2 classes, which I think is unique in high school. So I've taught 2 seminars, one on body language and the other one on service learning.
I switched into Global because Global gave me more opportunities to have a flexible schedule, and that it gave me more independence with my learning. I could study multiple interests that I wanted to do, or I could focus more on one in-depth topic. For example, I like to look into law enforcement because that's what I want to do.
So I was in Legacy freshman year, and when I transitioned into Global, coming into my sophomore year, it was a little difficult, but I mean the teachers were really welcoming and everybody was super nice and welcoming. The process itself was easy, but it was kind of more of that, the things that I had to work on personally that made it a little bit difficult. I mean, it's different for everyone, but a lot of that self-motivation came into play, but I learned that really quickly.
So during my years in Global, I think I've grown a lot in confidence, just because of all the presenting and group work that we do. It really helps you to come out of yourself and relate more with others. And then I've also grown in self-regulation and self-motivation just because of all the individual work as well that you have to complete. It really helps me to grow as a person in that way as well.
Some of the most important skills that I've gained so far are being able to manage my workload and also being able to manage my time. Because Global, the work isn't always thrown at you, but it can be hard to manage when you have lots of time.
The workload in Global can be a little different depending on the classes you may take. So there's weekly class assignments that are in Canvas, and then you also can do math and inquiry and that you work on independently. As long as you're using your time wisely throughout the day, there shouldn't be that much work to take home.
So a senior capstone is a project that all students are required to do their senior year, or they can do it beforehand. And it's a community service project where they have to do a minimum 20 hours of work with a community or a global issue that they want to look at.
Myself and then 2 other KM Global students, Allie Frank and Katie Halata, are organizing a book drive for the organization Books for Africa. So far we've already gathered some donations. We set up donation boxes in classrooms throughout the high school, in Global. We've also contacted local libraries to see if they have anything to donate.
So what I did for my senior capstone is World Culture Day, where I invited presenters from different cultures and religions in our community here in Wisconsin to present to the students in Global and Legacy about their traditions and practices.
I would say it's very important to stay on track and caught up with your work at Global. Don't be afraid to ask help from peers or teachers, because everyone is really good at giving advice and help, and they're all willing to help everybody. There's a lot we can learn from each other.